incorporates all of his principles.
Mm-hmm.
So when one is one is the head nod.
Mm-hmm.
So the head nod was meant to be that you lengthen the back of your neck so that your cervical spine is released, where most people are like this.
Swanson look.
Huh?
It's the Gloria Swanson look.
Yes, so
around there.
your neck is long and it's supported, and so your chin is slightly down, like you're holding a fist under your chin. It's not tight or anything. Second part of it is scapula stabilization, which means you slide the shoulder blades, engage them like we were talking about just before. And when you come up, if you're coming up, because you don't have to, that your chest is open, your neck is not bothered because you're stabilizing from your scapula. I'm not trying to come up like this and keeping everything very wide. And then you're moving, and I'm using my core. I'm not using my hips, because you'll see a lot of people will grip with their hips instead of their abs to try to hold it. So from this portion, then the hundreds is to come here, the full version, and then you pump, inhaling for 5 and exhaling for 5. Now how low you go depends on your ab strength without straining your back or your neck. And you're inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling.
What counts 5? Your hands?
Your hands are moving from the shoulder here.
So this is like 1, 2, 3, 4.
And it's pretty fast. I mean, you can vary it, but the classic Pilates symposium I went to in Fort Worth, they were doing it very fast to get the blood pumping and the breath going. So it was kind of like a wake up, energize exercise.
Right.
Now, if people do not want to come up with their neck and their shoulders because they have an issue, then they can still do it here and just have the legs up and still work the abs, or have it here and be very safe and solid, keep the shoulders down, or if their abs are not really strong enough. So there's lots of variations, or you can come up for some and then you can release for some.
Do you ever lower your legs?
Only as far as your abs can tolerate. Okay, so in other words, you can start out with them here or even just here at tabletop. You don't want them here, but here. And then as you get stronger, then you can come up.
Yeah. Okay.
And here. But I will show you another. We were just doing a shoulder stabilization exercise that we were talking about, which is good. But another very good ab exercise, if you're looking to really work your core, is in the core there's basically the roof, which is your diaphragm here, and your vanity section, which is the navel kind of area. Then you have between the pubic bone and the navel, which he was talking about today, about pulling up the pubic bone. Those are the muscles that pull it up. And then you have pelvic floor also, and Pilates is big on pelvic floor. But one of the exercises I found that's very helpful is to take some kind of stick or towel or something like that, and you're going to go back into what we call C-curve. And all that a sit-up, a core involves is that you want to get ribs to hip bones. That's your goal.
Ribs to hit what bones?
Ribs to hip bones.
Oh, the hip bones. Okay.
Yes, to your ASIS.
Okay.
So that's where we want to work. So all this flailing about in a sit-up is really meaningless if that's all we really want. So in order to do that, you can you roll back without using your hips, shoulders are down, and you go into a deep C-curve. So I'm back into basically my 100s position almost. And then here,
and you pulse?
Really slow, really deep, and dig for oil. And you need to do about 6 of them and come out. But you really have to get the curve. It's not a back bend.
Right.
It's ribs down, rib cage,
curl.
Rib cage. It's really deep.
Down one thing at a time.
Yes, and you're really suppling your spine at the same time.
But you don't take your spine all the way to the floor.
No. You just want to go, it's almost like if you aim for the back of your waist, think like there's a bullseye back there, and you're trying to get your waist down without anything else touching it, and your back. So it's like my waist, my waist, my waist.
Now how do you make sure you don't use...
work in my rib cage, and that is also a stabilizer in your shoulders.
How do you make sure you don't involve your hips? Because
I have people do the Charleston when they're going back, making sure that they do this. Also the neck. If you can move it, you can't be losing it. So I always have them check their hips, if they're hip grippers. Yeah, just do the Elvis or do the Charleston, make sure that they're not, involving
Okay,
that
what's
part.
The Elvis?
Huh?
What's the Elvis?
Same thing. It's just moving the legs. And the scapula stabilizer we were talking about was either doing wall push-ups or having somebody push on your arm.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
The arm push.
So if
Jeff should hear that one.
So if you set up like in your writing position,
Uh-huh.
and you're going to put your arm in the writing position here, and you're going to drop the shoulder and relax it, and then